Hi, I'm Todd Newton. On this episode, you and I, my friend, are going to explore the biggest little city in the world. That's right, Reno, Nevada, as well as the stunning views here at Lake Tahoe. Is this incredible? Two areas known not only for gambling and casinos and natural beauty, of course, but also for great food, vibrant nightlife, good times for all, and from what I'm told, what just may be the world's largest sporting goods store, complete with 14 animatronic presidents. Oh yeah, and it all starts right now on the Tattooed Traveler. Somebody's really getting down over there. Yeah, welcome to the biggest little city in the world. And if you need proof, well, check it out. There's the iconic Reno Arch. Now, the arch was originally put here back in October of 1926, and its purpose was to promote America's first transcontinental highway. I think it worked. They had a heck of a party on that chilly October night back in the 20s. From what I'm told, all the locals were invited for the lighting of the arch, and there was all the free food you can eat and all the free whiskey you could drink. Gambling, if you will, is really what put Reno on the map. The first legal casino here in town was the Bank Club. That was in 1931. What is going on across the street here? He's making me lose my train of thought. Today, there are just over 20 casinos here in Reno with table games and slot machines and great entertainment. Obviously, case in point. Listen, enough of the casinos. We got to get to know this guy, right? Let's do a proper introduction. Sir, I'm Todd Newton, and you are?
Psychic.
Psychic?
S-Y-K-Y-K, all caps.
Can you tell me about the city of Reno?
Yeah, I've been here 7 years. It's gritty.
And do you think it's still a good destination for people to come visit?
Oh, yeah. I think it's actually a wonderful place to live, too. I'm blessed to be here.
What a great attitude. Pleasure meeting you, Psychic. Now, look, Reno is no Las Vegas, but it is considered a relatively safe city to live in. Downtown has had its share of social and economic problems, but overall, the city has a lower crime rate than the national average. But if you're just coming to play, to try your hand at a little blackjack, well, as you can see, it's not nearly as crowded as a Vegas or an Atlantic City. Believe me, it's a lot easier to get a seat at your favorite slot machine here. For decades, Reno was known as the divorce capital of the world because for years, one spouse could file for and be granted a divorce without having to get the signature of the other. Now, that is no longer the case, so don't get any ideas. And unlike Vegas, there are not wedding chapels on every corner, but there are plenty of pawn shops. They're everywhere. So if you're looking for a great deal on a new watch or maybe an antique slot machine, Reno might be the place for you. What used to lure me here when I was in my 20s and early 30s was the Little Nugget and the Nugget Diner, home of the Awful Burger. Awful big and awful good. The recipe was simple, about a half pound of ground beef. Got your cheese, your lettuce, tomatoes, onions, pickles, stacked atop a mound of French fries and that secret nugget sauce. It was the best, but the Little Nugget Casino and the Nugget Diner closed in 2020 and took those burgers with them. But fortunately, one of my other Reno favorites is still alive and kicking, just not today. I'm honestly sad. I mean, I feel it. There's a lump right here in my heart or around my heart that this place is closed today. They're closed every Sunday and Monday. It happens to be a Sunday. Scheduling just didn't allow me to be here in Reno when they were open, but this is Casale's Halfway Club. I've been telling you about this place in other videos for a long time. It is Nevada's oldest family-owned restaurant. They've been around since 1937. And trust me, if you even have a 2-hour layover at the Reno airport, come to Casale's, the Halfway Club, and get yourself some of that homemade spaghetti bolognese, couple of meatballs. It'll change you for the rest of your days. This is the former home of the Casale family, John and Elvira, and their children, Jerry and Inez. Here's Inez in the kitchen of Casale's Halfway Club. They turned the home into a restaurant in the mid-1940s because their home cooking became so popular around the neighborhood. In 1969, Inez lost her husband, found herself raising 6 children alone, and she did the only thing she knew how to do. She grabbed her mother's rolling pin and turned that little house on 4th Street into one of the most respected Italian restaurants in America. Mama Inez passed away in 2020. Now we're going to make our way to beautiful Lake Tahoe, so get those cameras, or shall I say, prepare to screenshot, because it is gorgeous. Now, there are 2 sides to Lake Tahoe, North Lake and South Lake, and although they are related, they're as different as night and day, kind of like siblings. You can't go wrong with the views at either North or South Lake. Also, plenty of dining and outdoor activities, skiing, boating, fishing. We'll start here at North Lake Tahoe. This is where you can enjoy the quieter side of life. In fact, they have a term for it. They call it Tahoe time. There's more of a mountain-style feel here than you would get on the south side. Fewer people overall, too. Less crowded. But look at that. No matter how many times you see it, you just can't get enough. Lake Tahoe straddles 2 states. 2/3 of the lake is on the California side, and the other third is on the Nevada side. And at its deepest point, it is 1,645 feet deep. That means it could cover the Empire State Building. And there's about 72 miles of shoreline, beautiful parks and hiking trails. But if you're looking for something a little busier, maybe something a little rowdier, well, South Lake Tahoe may be a better fit for you. This is where you'll find the casinos. Harrah's is here, Harvey's, but you're not sacrificing any of those views. The water in Lake Tahoe is 99.994% pure. That's pretty close to the water you're buying in the store. And the amount of water in Lake Tahoe is enough to supply each person in the U.S. with 50 gallons of water per day for 5 years. Here's a little coffee shop I stumbled upon called Trail Folk Coffee Company in the Base Camp Motel. Really nice people here. Warm, rustic, homey atmosphere. And they had a local brew that was so robust, exactly what I needed to visit the world's largest sporting goods store, Scheels. They even have their own drive. You got to respect that. Remember I mentioned this at the top of the show? Well, here we are. The name may ring a bell. There are 32 locations scattered across 14 states, but the Sparks, Nevada location here with your walk-through fish tank is the one that put Scheels in the Guinness Book of World Records for the 3rd time as the largest all-sports store. Although the word store is a bit of an understatement, this is really a 295,000 square foot retail experience complete with a 65-foot indoor Ferris wheel and, as promised, those 14 animatronic presidents, like Thomas Jefferson here in his desk. Now, if you've seen the show we did at the Smithsonian Museum in Washington, D.C., you can check it out here on the channel. If you haven't already, you'll know that desk is spot on. And I know what you're saying, Todd, come on. These figures, I know they're not the most lifelike, but I get the point. Here at Scheels, while you're doing your shopping, your kids can learn a little about U.S. history or wildlife. Here's Teddy Roosevelt. Of course, a rugged outdoorsman. He had to be here. How about that wig, huh? And JFK. Oof, I shouldn't laugh. 2 of the presidents, Thomas Jefferson and Honest Abe here, have sensors in front of them that are triggered when you walk by and they give a little speech. You kind of got to lean in pretty close to hear what they're saying. Shopping-wise, Scheels pretty much has everything under the sun. I thought Bass Pro Shops were big. Wow, here's FDR. Down a few steps is Dwight Eisenhower in his military outfit. And here's Ronald Reagan, the 40th president of the United... Wow, that one's a little bit of a stretch. But again, I commend the vision. And lastly, our nation's founding father, George Washington. I'll take this opportunity, by the way, to invite you to watch the episode where we tour Washington's Mount Vernon estate. Really interesting. You can find it here on the Tattooed Traveler channel. I really enjoyed my visit to Scheels, but I'm not leaving without getting my picture taken next to this big fish. So, as the sun begins to set on another exciting episode of The Tattooed Traveler, I wanted to show you Reno at night. So, I hopped in an Uber and made my way back to downtown Reno, to enjoy all the lights and the action, the giant poker chips, and of course, just a little more psychic. Well, you can really pack a lot into this little city, can't you? I'm glad you were here for our Reno Lake Tahoe adventure. How about those views from Lake Tahoe? I think that's going to make the perfect wallpaper for my computer. That just popped into my head. All right, right now would be the perfect time for you, my friend, to grab your brand new Tattooed Traveler hoodie. You can get it here at thetattooedtraveler.com. And until we meet again, a little further on down the road, travel safely.